It has been said that from the moment we are born, we are in the process of dying. Through his many dreams and visions, Don Bosco became even more aware of the imminence of death and the necessity of being prepared for it at all times. This fostered a deep devotion to the holy souls in him, which he passed on to his boys at the oratory. In this video, you will see how his predictions of death and their predictable accuracy prepared many a soul to meet his Maker. The Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today, we'll dive into Don Bosco's extraordinary predictions about death and his deep devotion to the holy souls in Purgatory, which shaped the spiritual life of his oratory. Look out for these key points in today's video. The accuracy of Don Bosco's predictions about death, his profound devotion to the holy souls in Purgatory, the practical ways that he taught his boys to pray for the dead, and a question to ponder. How might our lives change if we share Don Bosco's awareness of death's certainty? Before we begin, sign up as a monthly promoter to support our work and receive free gifts in return. The link is in the description box right now, and I'll tell you more about it later on in the video. After the passing of a boy named Gergo, the first pupil ever to die at the oratory, Don Bosco wanted to give him a fitting funeral. A local pastor generously established modest fees and eased the expenses which would have only burdened Don Bosco. In keeping with his deeply felt devotion to the holy souls in Purgatory, Don Bosco urged all of the oratory boys to offer up their communions during the Christmas season for the repose of young Gergo's soul. A few days after Gergo's death, another boy, Camilo Gavio, was called to eternity. His deep and sincere piety had made a lasting impression on all his schoolmates in only 2 months. In the boy's register, next to Gavio's name, Don Bosco made the following entry: a boy of outstanding virtue. The illness that had once brought him to the brink of the grave again flared up, and despite the care of doctors and friends, he rapidly declined. Gavio's condition soon became critical, and a few days later, after devoutly receiving the last sacraments, he passed away on December 29th, 1855, with Don Bosco at his bedside. Canon Anfosi wrote several times between 1854 and 1860. Don Bosco, when giving the good night, said, "Soon," and sometimes he specified the length of time, as for example, within a month. "One of you present will leave us to give an account to God of his life. You cannot imagine what effects these words had on us. We had no idea who it would be because nobody was sick, but we knew for a fact that previous similar announcements had come true." Father Dominic Mora, a canon of the Cathedral of Pinerolo, and my schoolmate at the oratory, fully confirmed these prophecies when I asked him about them. From 1860 to 1880 and beyond, Don Bosco made similar predictions almost every month on the occasion of the exercise for a happy death, giving such precise details that those who saw them fulfilled were astonished. We have this written testimony of Father Joachim Berto. Don Bosco predicted long before they came the time and circumstances of the deaths of almost all the oratory boys. Once or twice he gave a clear warning to the boy concerned. Often he had some good companions watch over him. Occasionally he would publicly reveal the boy's initials. As far as I can remember, such predictions invariably came true. There were some very rare exceptions, but they were of such a nature as to confirm Don Bosco's gift of prophecy further. I, Father Berto, declare that I was a witness to what I have described. As a way of teaching the boys not to fear death, Don Bosco gave them many opportunities to pray for the souls of the departed, thereby assuring their speedy entrance into heaven for eternity. Here are just a few of these opportunities. 1. Whenever a boy, benefactor, or friend of the oratory died, Don Bosco immediately ordered public prayers, a general communion, and the recitation of 5 decades of the Rosary. He also had the community mass and a more solemn funeral mass offered for the repose of that soul. 2. Don Bosco had the boys participate in the exercise for a happy death every single month. 3. On the eve of All Souls' Day, Don Bosco would join the boys in saying 15 decades of the Rosary in church, often leading it himself. Then on All Souls' Day, he himself said the Mass for all the faithful departed. He also suggested the heroic act of charity to his boys. He never failed to inform them when plenary indulgence could be obtained on behalf of the souls in purgatory. He offered up his own afflictions and prayers for the holy souls and encouraged the sick and suffering to do likewise. And when somebody sought spiritual advice, he would say, "Receive Holy Communion," or say 5 decades of the Rosary, or hear Mass for the souls in purgatory who need only the merit of this good act to satisfy divine justice and fly to heaven. Don Bosco would suggest these and other similar acts of devotion, even if not asked, for he firmly believed in the existence of purgatory. Often in his catechetical instructions or informal talks, he strove to make the boys understand how excruciating the sufferings of purgatory were, by describing them so realistically that his listeners were moved to pity and inspired to pray and suffer on behalf of the poor souls. Don Bosco's devotion to holy souls challenges us to help those suffering in purgatory. Like him, we can offer prayers and masses and sacrifices for their release. Wouldn't you like to join in this powerful spiritual work of mercy? As a monthly promoter, your intentions will be included in our daily Rosaries and Saturday Masses, which can be offered up for your deceased loved ones. And just as Don Bosco led his boys in praying for departed souls, you can unite your prayers with our community to bring relief to those in purgatory. Together, we can help souls reach heavenly glory sooner. Ready to join this mission of mercy? Become a monthly promoter today. The link is in the description box down below right now. Don Bosco's prophetic gift regarding death reveals a profound truth. Purgatory is an extraordinary mercy of God. Through his visions and predictions, he helped his boys understand not only the reality of death, but also our sacred duty to pray for those who have gone before us. His deep conviction about purgatory's existence inspired practical devotions that we can still follow today, offering masses, praying the rosary, and performing acts of charity for the departed. If someone we love has died, wouldn't we want to do everything in our power to help their soul reach eternal bliss? Don Bosco certainly thought so. Through monthly exercises, daily prayers, and constant vigilance, he showed us that awareness of death shouldn't bring fear, but rather inspire us to live more mindfully. This approach transformed the reality of death into an opportunity for spiritual growth, while his devotion to the holy souls reminds us of our continuing connection to those who have passed. In this way, Don Bosco presents us with a beautiful understanding of purgatory, not as something to fear, but as a manifestation of God's mercy and an opportunity for us to help those who can no longer help themselves. But what are your thoughts about purgatory and praying for our faithfully departed? Share your insights in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Saint John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.